It's spring in the Pacific Northwest, and the eclipse is over, so I think it's time for the sun to come out.
Maybe the clouds didn't get the memo that it's time for the sun to come out. But at least the daffodils are happy.
I felt like it was about time that I actually got around to playing with some Sun Spark workstations again, because it's been a long time since I've done that. These three particular workstations were rescued from an e-waste facility by a friend of mine in the local area. These are quite a bit more modern, it's all relative, than the previous Suns that I had worked on. I had previously worked on a Spark Station 5. There were a couple of videos about that. It will probably be popping up somewhere up there. A Spark Station 10 that I still need to get back to and try to get properly working. Those were from the early 90s. These are from the late 90s. They both came out, both the Ultra 60s and the Ultra 10 came out in, I want to say, January and February of 1998. So they're quite a bit later, quite a bit more advanced. Totally different form factor. A lot more kind of common off-the-shelf sort of parts than on a bunch of the previous machines. I don't know what kind of state these are in. I'm going to take a look at it, each one on the outside, open them up, take a look on the inside, see what's in them, see if I can get them to work. And that will probably be the extent of this video. If any of them will power on at all and can be made to do anything, I am sure that they will need the equivalent of a CMOS battery. I just had the word in my brain a minute ago, and has gone poof. I'm sure that I will need to order some of those because they are definitely out of power in these. And I'm going to see if I can make them into some usable workstations for some definition of usable. I'm going to start by looking at the Ultra 10. And for reasons that will become apparent later, I'm going to start by weighing these systems. The Ultra 10 comes in at a svelte 10.6 kilos or 23 pounds, 8 ounces, so 23 and a half pounds. And it is definitely quite a bit smaller than the Ultra 60s. The Ultra 10 is a fairly regular kind of PC form factor. Has a floppy drive here. I'm not 100% sure what this is. Probably doesn't look like there's anything in there. Just it's a cover for nothing. Okay. Presumably this machine at one time had some kind of an optical drive, but that has since been removed. Power button supports Java and Solaris pre-installed, although probably not. Since this came from an e-waste facility, I'm fully expecting that there are no hard drives in it. The Ultra 10 was created as a much, much lower cost machine. So it's my understanding that while they were SCSI capable, they used fairly low performance IDE interfaces for everything. On the back of this machine, there is an Ethernet port, a VGA port that is connected to some kind of ATI Mach 64 card, parallel port. Actually, no, this is probably serial port A, parallel port, serial port B, audio jacks, the Sun custom keyboard and mouse interface, and then some kind of add-on video card. Now, on the front, this specifically says Creator 3D. So that card could be a Creator 3D or it could be a just Creator card. As far as I'm aware, the only difference between the two is the amount of onboard RAM. And so one gives some kind of rudimentary 3D acceleration and the other does not. All right, I'm going to pull this off of here and I'm going to take this apart. One thing that's kind of odd about these systems, I did, for once, look up how to disassemble one of these machines before diving in. So it's held together with 4 screws, but the part of the case that comes off is the sides and the bottom, instead of most PC cases where it's the sides and the top are the shell. This plastic part that is very yellowed remains affixed. Like I said before, I'm going to guess that this
probably has the undesirable graphics. the graphics that don't do 3D of any kind. But we'll find that out here in just a moment. And who knows about the CPU. I believe the CPUs on these ranged from 300 megahertz to like 440 or something. All right, and I can tell looking at the graphics card that it is as I guessed. So pull this out. So this is the connector for Sun's UPA graphics slot. And we can look up this specific model, but I can tell just by looking at it that it is a Creator as opposed to a Creator 3D. And the way that you can tell is it has one memory chip there and one on the back, whereas the Creator 3D has a whole row of memory chips. I believe it has 4 on each side. So this will do 2D acceleration of some sort. And so I can look up this exact model on Sun Parts. Somewhere on everything there will be a 501 number, and that will tell you, looking that up I accidentally clicked the stop recording button. Looking that up will tell you exactly what it is. So I'm going to type in Sun 501-4789, and internet says Creator. Well, some people say that is a Creator 3D, but I don't think that is right. Most places say that it is a just Creator Series 3. So the last generation of this particular kind of graphics card. Okay. There are 2 memory chips on here. The one I can see says 128 meg RAM, so 256 megs total installed. Floppy drive, oh man, the power connector pins on that floppy drive are bent up. There are a bunch of surface mount capacitors on here, but I don't see signs of leakage. I'm going to pull this processor off. Just an interesting mechanism to have it attached. How does this want to come off? Go on there. Oh, that was a little plastic clip that goes back here. And I'm going to see if I can find its model number, and I don't see. So right after I say every single one of these will have a 501 number on here. Oh, there it is on the side. Okay. So let's see what that is. Sun 501. So the number is really hard to read right here. 501 5040. 1-5040. It is a 300 megahertz Ultra Spark 2i module. So the slowest version of the CPU that can come in one of these. Okay. That's fine. I have no complaints about that if it works. One thing that I think is kind of neat about this is there's, on this CPU module, there are these little plastic places that seem like finger divots where, like, push here. So that is that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that lined up, and then I'm going to push, and there it goes. And then this little extra retention bar, I'll put in like that. Put the screw back. And I will probably finish reassembling this off camera, because the next thing to do with this is turn it on and see if it does anything. It does down here. Oh, I'm not sure if this shows up at all. But right there is the same kind of PRAM battery. No, that's what SGI calls them. NVRAM battery. As on the other Suns, and so I'm gonna have to order a whole mess of those because I've got 3 of these systems, and I've got one of my Spark stations needs a battery, so I need to order a whole mess of these. So I'm gonna put this back together, and then we can fire it up. Hopefully without any actual fire. I don't know if anyone noticed before, but I had this in the background of some of the other shots. This was given to me by a friend of mine who is also an open source graphics developer. These are the glxgears. It's the standard demo program that has come with every Linux distro possibly since ever. You can see the little gears rotating. Now, he did apologize to me greatly that the gears are all gray. They're supposed to be RG, red, green, and blue. As they are in the proper demo, but when you turn them, they actually rotate. So that's pretty cool. I gotta give a shout out. Thank you, Rob. that was probably one of the more creative birthday presents I've received. Definitely this year, possibly in a long time. Let's see if this now. I'm using a different 13W3 cable than I've previously used, so I don't know. It's a different cable. Untested hardware, and a monitor that I've never used with an analog signal. But I did get it specifically for this kind of purpose. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, well, it's doing something because as soon as I flicked the power switch, it came on, and there's no postcode card for. I mean, I guess technically I could put a postcard in the PCI slots, but I feel like they wouldn't do anything useful, and I don't know because I have not ever used this monitor. I don't know which buttons do anything. This may have been too much new all at once. But it did come on. All right, so I know this keyboard works, and I'm getting nothing on any of the keys. I don't remember. It's been a very long time since I have booted up a Sun machine like this, so I do not remember the process, and I've never actually used one of these. So this could be totally normal right now. And I need to just be patient. So I am going to have a full review video coming of this monitor. And one of the negatives on it is, like, these buttons up here, they just have boxes next to them. And then this button has, I don't know, what looks kind of like the old SCSI logo with the kind of the rotated box with a line going into it. It's like you're trying to communicate with me. But I am not receiving the message you are sending. All right, so what happens if... Okay, so that's power. Okay. No signal. Okay, is it no signal because there's actually no signal coming out of it, or is there some other some other issue? All right. This good times. So the analog input on this monitor definitely works. I tried it with something else. I have tried removing the video card from the Ultra 10 and just running it off the integrated graphics, the ATI graphics chip that's on there, and nothing. I got out my other 13W3 cable to try with the graphics card and tried the switches in a bunch of different configurations and just nothing. So this computer seems to be having some problems. Okay. Perhaps a future repair video. I'm not really sure what to go about troubleshooting aside from just resocketing all the things on this. There's a couple things that can be done. All right, I'm gonna move on to the Ultra 60s and see if I can get anything out of them, or if this is gonna be another video where just nothing works.
Moving on to the first of the Ultra 60 systems. These are a lot more beefy in every sense of the word. It is a much larger case, and it weighs 19.2 kilograms, or 42 pounds, 4 ounces. This thing, like, the scale has a weight limit of 50 pounds, and this is this computer is pushing the limit of this scale. Aside from being really dirty, I've noticed just looking at these that there are some differences between the two Ultra 60s. The power switches are different. The front grills are different. The other one we'll see has holes here and the sides are filled in. This one does not have holes in the front grill, but has the sides are open for airflow. This one also has, I'm assuming this is not a Sun original DVD ROM drive. Regular, as far as I'm aware, a regular PC floppy drive. Ultra 60 also says Creator 3D. We'll see in a minute, though. There have been other changes. I'm going to rotate this around. There is a warning to not put this computer on its side and put the monitor on the case. You can put it on its side, just don't put the monitor on it because this is not structural. Rotate this back around. On the back, kind of the same sets of ports as on the previous parallel port, the Sun keyboard and mouse port, 2 serial ports, an Ethernet port. I don't remember off the top of my head what an MII port is. External 68-pin SCSI, audio ports, no video card. The 60s did not have integrated video. You had to have some sort of video card, and there is no video card in this. So definitely not an actual Creator 3D. It does, however, have a Sun-branded 4-port Ethernet card. The onboard Ethernet, I believe, is just 100 megabit. I think there were 2 versions of this card. One of them was 100 megabit and the other was gigabit. So I'm hoping that this is a 4-port gigabit card. I suspect that I'm going to do some cobbling together of the 260s to make one great machine. So this card, if it is the gigabit card, will end up in the great machine. There's supposed to be a plastic bit with a screw into it that holds this side case on here, but that is missing. So I'm not... Someone has clearly been inside this machine. They probably got in here to remove the hard drives out of it, I'm expecting, and just that piece went missing because they didn't care that much, which is fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over the missing case screw. This side panel is not super well attached. I don't know what's going on with that. I will have to look at that once I get inside this machine. Hopefully here the vents are, the side vent is visible. And until we actually get this open and take a look at it, I don't think there's very much else to say about this particular Ultra 60.
Now this is the one that didn't have the screw cover, so I should be able to just slide that out and pull this lid off. Okay. And so these are going to be the CPU no hard drives. These are going to be the CPU modules. Ooh, it is all full of memory, and I can barely read the model. All right, let's look up some model numbers on these things and see what we have going on here. So the CPU modules are 501, 6071. And oh, hello. So these are both 450 megahertz UltraSpark 2 modules, which with 4 megabytes of L2 cache. As far as I know, those are the fastest CPUs that can come in one of these. You can see on the back, I'm going to assume that these solder pads here are probably the cache modules. And this does look strikingly like a slot 1 CPU module. Can I get this off here without? Yes. Okay, so we can extract that. Actually, I'm going to guess that maybe these are the cache modules under here. Wow, look at that. That is... that is... And the voltage regulator with a giant heatsink of its own. That is a substantial CPU module. That I'm impressed with that. Okay, so the memory looks like Sun 5013136, which says it is a 128 megabyte module, and I count 4, 8, 12, 14 of those. Ooh, that is a lot of memory modules. 14 times. So that is 1.79 gigabytes. Yeah, I had to think about it for a second. That also is substantial. And then the last thing in here to check on, and I will have to harvest a video card from one of the other systems to be able to check this out when I power it up. Is this 4-port Ethernet card, and what is its 501 number? I don't see it on here. Okay, here we go. 501. Oops. 501 6738. And that is quad port GigaSwift Ethernet. All right, so this is gigabit. Excellent. All right, well that will well, I don't know whichever of the two Ultra 60s I end up keeping, that card will go with that system. Because having gigabit will for sure be useful. I mean, it has 100 megabit Ethernet on the board, but gigabit's better. All right, I'm going to put this back together off camera, and then I'm going to figure out which of the video cards I'm going to put in here. Now the thing that's interesting about the 60s compared to the 10 is the 60 has 2 UPA sockets, so you could put 2 video cards. There are some of the video cards that are double width, and so I'm not sure if you can put a single width card in one slot and a double width card in the other, or I don't know what the restrictions are, if any. I don't have any of the double width cards. I guess technically I do have 2 UPA cards, so I could put both of them in here and run this dual head. I put the creator video card that was originally in the Ultra 10 in this just for a test. And I'm gonna try some things out. Well, the optical drive opens and closes. on this one, the power light. We're going to get something on the screen. Oh my gosh. All right. So I miscounted the memory somehow because it says that this has 2 gigabytes, 2 450 megahertz CPUs as I had identified. And we have something on the screen. Oh, thank the maker. How did I miss? Is there just 2 more RAM sticks in there hiding somewhere? That is odd. All right, I think for best picture quality, change the resolution to 1920 by 1080. I'll get right on that. Okay. That is all the farther that I anticipated getting with this. But now, I know for sure this video card is good. This cable is configured correctly. Okay.
Okay, the final of the 3 machines is the other Ultra 60, and again, the differences that I pointed out previously are readily apparent. Power switch is completely different. This front grille is completely different. I mean, at a distance, they're cosmetically similar, but they are functionally different. This particular system has what is probably the original optical drive, no floppy drive. On the side, it has the same warning to not put the monitor on the side. Around the back, the same set of common ports, the plastic bit to hold in this, the plastic bit and the screw to hold the case lid on is there, audio ports, and some kind of video card. Now I'm hoping that at least either this or the card in the Ultra 10 are in fact the Creator 3D, because then I will be able to play around with some 3D and do some OpenGL on these systems. Now, these cards, as far as I'm aware, these are very primitive 3D cards by any standard, in that there is no texture mapping. They do shaded polygons, probably high quality anti-alias lines. Some workstation-y graphics cards of this era would accelerate some image processing kinds of things, but that's it. Like, you're not going to run Quake on this. If you try to use texture mapping, that's going to fall back to software rasterization running on the CPU, and even with whatever the probably very beefy for the time CPUs are that are in these machines, that is still going to be quite slow, and it would not be playable at any window size. On the other side of this one, the case is holding together a little bit better, so I'll be able to see a good example of how the case should be. And aside from that, I feel like this is a better looking case. This is going to require less cleaning, aside from the big X on it. And it has some kind of video card in it, which I will need. I will probably end up, because I'm not going to keep both of these 60s, so there's definitely going to be some shuffling of parts among these 3 machines before any of them end up getting rehomed.
And now the last of the systems, the second Ultra 60. I do actually have to remove the little case lid. This is a kind of a weird mechanism because it's a little plastic. Oh, you know what? I hadn't looked at this very closely before. After I brought these systems home, I found a random piece like this in the back of my car. I bet that one of these for that other system just fell off. I wonder if that's still in. I know I looked at it and I thought, I don't know what this is. It's probably really important for something. So I know I kept it. I will have to check my car later. As I predicted, that little plastic bit was sitting in the arm handle of my car. Come on. There you go. Okay. Oh, excellent. So this has the card that I was hoping for. This is the Creator 3D, and as you can see, it's got a bunch more RAM on it. It has additional, so I'm assuming that the chips over here are frame buffer memory, because if I remember, there were fewer chips around. What I'm guessing is, by the markings on it, is the RAM DAC. There are fewer chips over there, so it probably had less frame buffer memory, and then this is workspace memory for, you know, off screen. Wow, that is pretty dusty. Okay, but I can tell just based on the look that this is the good one, and we can look up the 501 number, because there are a couple different versions of this. There's the Series 2 and the Series 3. And my understanding is that the Series 3 for some operations is quite a bit faster. For some things it doesn't matter. For other things, and just quick scanning based of this number, this does appear to be a Series 3 card. Okay, well that is good. Wow, this machine is really dusty inside. I'm for sure going to take it outside. I also notice this has hard drives in it. Oh, I suspect they weren't supposed to let it out of the e-waste facility with those still installed. All right, let's pop out one of these CPUs and see what it is to complete our journey. Oh no, I still have to check out the RAM. So it doesn't say up here, but in really tiny print right there is the 501 number, 501 4849. 4849. Survey says 300 megahertz Ultra Spark 2. So I think this is basically the slowest CPU that could come. Holy smokes! I wasn't gonna pop this open because we looked at the other ones already. So I think that other system has the fastest possible CPUs, and I believe that this has the slowest possible CPUs. So I suspect what will happen is. Well, I suspect one of the things that will happen is these CPUs are going to take a trip out to my garage to meet with my air compressor. Because I for sure don't want that dust in here. This is generally very dusty in here. And this one also is, all of the RAM slots are full. That seems oddly. But I can't make out. How do you... I can't make out the markings, so I can... Now I'm going to assume that they're all the same, and these are after... No, they have a 501 number. Okay, what are these? Sun 501 3136. These are also 128. So this might also have 1.7 gigabytes. Now I'm gonna put that bit back in off camera because that is gonna be very annoying, and whoo-wee, it is dusty in there. Okay, well, I will put this back together and we'll give this one a try. Now this has hard drives. This could actually boot up into an operating system. And it's kind of good because there's two of them, so I can ultimately leave one in here and put one in the other Ultra 60, and for the Ultra 10 it just uses IDE. So I have some IDE drives. And IDE optical drives around, and this was the one. Yeah, oh yeah, both the 60s had optical drives. All right, I'm gonna clean, and I'm gonna put this back together, and we'll light this one up too. All the noise happens. thing on the display. So I hear the hard drive's doing something. There is hard disk activity. So it is trying to boot. It's just not. It's making some sounds that appear to be coming from the internal speaker. Thing makes a lot of fan noise. So I noticed the power light on the front, which you can't see here. The light here is blinking on and off. I will have to consult the manual to see what that means, but I feel like it's probably not a particularly good sign. Alright, I'm going to... What am I going to do? I'm going to extract the video card from this one, and I'm going to try it in the other system and see if it does anything. Alright, this one, as soon as I plugged it back in, it started powering on, so I did not put. So I left it with the original video card in it because I wanted to try something else. I reinserted the CPUs and gave them a little bit of deoxit, and the memory module that I had removed, I'm not 100% positive that it was properly seated, so I pushed it in a little bit more, and we'll see if that helps. If that doesn't, I'll give this a bit, and then I'll go ahead and do the video card switcheroo. And then while that video card's out, I will also try it in the other machine. The other thing I might try is swapping the CPUs around. See if I can learn anything from that. Okay, that is still properly plugged in. Okay, that's plugged in. I do notice that the power light is now solid. Oh, interesting. It was blinking previously when I was on this system. I wonder if that means anything. I wonder if I need to just give it a little bit more time. The other thing I think I can do, I believe these systems, if I hook up to the serial port, I can get serial console output, and stuff will happen even earlier in the boot process before it lights up the display. I don't have a cable for that super handy. Some of this may end up in a second video, a troubleshooting video. Going to quickly swap out the video card if I can figure out where I put a screwdriver. I'm going to be very sad if this video card does not work. Because out of everything here, that is the toy that I most want to be able to play with. Because let's be honest, while these were once very expensive, hard-working machines, they're toys now. Okay, so the power LED is currently blinking. And nothing's showing up on the screen. But we'll give this a while. It is odd that it is not spinning up the SCSI discs at all this time. Did I not get the video card properly seated? Oh, I sure didn't. All right, let's try that again. After several minutes of waiting for it to sit and think about its life choices, nothing. Power light, has just now gone solid. It was blinking. It was blinking for a good long time. There are so many things in computing that are unintentionally the halting problem. Is it done? Or does it... Oh my gosh. The display's gonna light up. That was literally... So this video has been recording for 9.5 minutes. And I started it after I powered it on. So it took 9 minutes to get to this point. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Wow. So I wonder if the other video card is fine. I just... So, now that's interesting because it says 2 gigabytes of memory, but it only was counting up about 1 gigabyte. That's... Anyway. Okay. The halting problem is it is provably impossible to analyze a program and know if it will ever halt. Is it never going to boot up, or do I just need to wait another minute? Ad infinitum. It might just, at any point in time, no matter how long you've waited, it might just need another minute. See also sunk cost fallacy. All right, I'm going to put the original video card back in and go get a beverage while I wait for it. So which way is off? I don't like this power switch. I like the power switch on the other one better. So I'm going to assume that this is an earlier model and they figured out that people hate this power switch and they fixed it on the other one. All right. Original video card back in. Let's go. I will return. Well, maybe I shouldn't have left. That did not take nearly as long. That took... I mean, it's been about 3 minutes looking at the timer on there. Okay. All right. Well, so 2 of the 3 machines with a little bit of gentle encouragement seem to be working. There might be something weird with the memory on this one, just because of the way that it was counting up there. I'm not certain about that. So I'm expecting that I will do follow-up videos trying to troubleshoot the Spark or the Ultra 10, and I will do probably a follow-up video installing some operating systems on this machine and on the other machine, and reconfiguring them around and making one super awesome machine out of this, and then one other machine that's not awesome. If you are interested in seeing any of those videos, I highly recommend that you click the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video at all, I would really appreciate it if you would click the like button. And until next time, try to remember the good stuff.